Where I would be without Catalpa would probably be a place that I don't really like to imagine, really, because it would be one of two things. Either I would not be here at all and I wouldn't be able to sit here and talk to you. I wouldn't be going off to college in the fall. I wouldn't be trying to influence other people's lives in the way that I'm trying to. I wouldn't have met the people I met because I don't really know if I would be here. But other than that, I would have just been in a dark place that I don't really think that I could have stayed in for very long. My name is Callie, and I have been struggling with anxiety, depression, and kind of like panic for the past year mainly. My parents moved when I was in 5th grade, so that was kind of when things started to come up. I noticed that I was really anxious all the time, and I wasn't really dealing with things how I was previously, but things didn't really get bad until I was really badly bullied in like 6th to 7th grade. I was having really bad panic attacks, which I felt were this like bizarre thing that I'd never heard of before. I felt like very fight or flight, I guess. I've never heard of anyone dealing with anything like this. Like, I knew I was anxious, but everyone throws around that term all the time that it's like, oh yeah, I'm really anxious for this test, or oh, I'm gonna have a panic attack over studying for this. And I never really attribute it to what I was dealing with, of hyperventilating, and all of a sudden I was in the middle of doing math problems. I was doing calculus, and all of a sudden the next second I was like crying and not able to breathe, and I felt like my entire body and the entire world was like completely falling apart, and I couldn't really figure out how I would get from point A to point B, like how I made it from being fine and studying or watching TV and just all of a sudden not being able to kind of function. I was at a point in my mental health journey where I didn't know if I could get any help, if anyone would be willing to help me, if I was able to go somewhere, or if I was just kind of, this was something I was gonna have to deal with. So I had just kind of this snap-second decision where I went to my mom and I said, hey, I need to talk to somebody. I don't care who it is or where it is or how to find them, but you need to do this for me because I can't right now. Catalpa Health is a safe haven for me that I didn't even know I needed. It's kind of a home base where I knew that there would always be people in my corner and always people rooting for me, and that if I were to mess up or if I were to fall, that they would be there to kind of boost me back up and get me back on the right track that I needed. And it was just that support system that I needed. I thought it would be one of those things that I would go in there and say, I'm sad, I don't know what to do about it. But instead, the person I talked to asked me these questions that were very personal and really, really okay. Like she asked it in a way that made me feel as though I wasn't in the wrong for feeling this way, and wanted to really know me as a person and figure out what was going on with me. And from that point on, I feel like it was very much so kind of an in-between of getting advice and seeing an outside perspective of someone who thinks that I can do well, and just kind of giving me tips and tricks and kind of like an outside perspective, and then also getting tools to actually be able to apply to my daily life. Like the first one that I got at my first meeting was square breathing, which was something that I'd never heard of before. I thought people just used breathing techniques in yoga, but I was kind of skeptical, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll try this thing out where I breathe in and hold for 4 and breathe out and hold for 4. And I was like, I can try it. Maybe it'll help with my panic attacks, and if it can, I will try it. So I tried it, and it really worked well with me. And I just remember that being like a little confirmation that things could get better, and if this was just the first meeting, that things would get better. When my 18th birthday was approaching, I had never really thought about getting tattoos. It wasn't really something on my radar, but for probably about 8 months beforehand, I was really having this brainchild of wanting to get this square tattoo, and I've been thinking about it a lot. When I first started dealing with anxiety, I would really check my pulse, and I knew that that was like a physical point where I could see the tattoo when I got it, and I wanted it to be a square to like symbolize the square breathing that I kind of started my entire mental health journey with, which was kind of just a symbol for me of what I had survived and what I had worked through. There would be family members or friends that would kind of be like, hey, you never really told me about why you got your tattoo. And it became easier over time to explain kind of what I got it for, but I didn't realize that it would be for other people. I thought it was just for me. I thought it was a personal thing, but over time it's been more than that. I hope that sharing my story and having this tattoo and being able to talk about mental health in a destigmatized way is something that I hope will make it okay for other people to talk about it.